What is going on, guys? I'm here to give you an analysis of the 17 minutes gameplay of Battlefield 4. As you can hear in the background, there's a very beautiful, almost classic song. And as you can see, it is a DICE game for those who didn't know that. And it's fishing in Baku, that's the mission, I guess.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of listening to the sound of my tears. Every now and then I get a little bit nervous that the best of all the years have gone by.
Irish. You know what kind of fish they have in Baku?
And as you can see, we are in a car underwater, and it's definitely upside down for those who didn't notice that. And let's just take a look at the visuals and the details in these people's faces. It's incredible how much that has improved from Battlefield 3. And we're obviously going to see a lot more of that later on.
There until the end. Hit the light pack.
As you can see, the reflection from the light and the water is absolutely gorgeous. And the light is very good, and you know, the faces, all that shadow effects are beautiful. And I've probably never seen anything as good as this before. And as you can see, just the seatbelt, the way that is moving, all of those tiny details. You're gonna notice those tiny the details in the physics engine throughout this video.
That's supposed to happen, Irish. Wrecker.
And as you can see, just the dialogue is also very good. They've definitely got some good voice acting. Now this is just one of the missions, obviously, so it's not representative. So it's not representative of the entire game, but so far so good.
That's an order. Don't you fucking do it, Wrecker! Save yourselves. Get out of here. Get out of here! Fucking bullshit, man! You hear me? Shoot out the window, or you all die!
And now we got the actual mission starting. 13 minutes and 39 minutes earlier. Now this is the first time you see, you know, proper construction and all that. And you can just see how incredibly beautiful and high-res the textures are. And look at the water, if you notice that. The water effects are really beautiful. You can see the waves in the water and the particles and the waste that is in the water. It's incredibly detailed and beautiful in just every aspect, and you got some particle effects over there, you know, sparkles. Looks incredibly good. And as you can see, if you saw the light in the wall there, you can just see how incredibly detailed the walls were. Just incredibly high resolution textures and incredible details. And it really looks like a really, really bad place. And you can just see how the physics are throughout the entire gameplay here. You can see the curtains and just every little detail, the way it moves, how interactive the world is. And just look at the floor, look at everything. It's just incredibly detailed. It's not just the textures and the graphics and all that, but just the level design itself is incredibly detailed. Got some nice particle effects and some fog there from the light. That's also pretty beautiful. So you can see there are some Russian soldiers underneath there. So it's basically just going to have to be a little quiet. And I really just can't get over how beautiful the visual effects are. As you can see, a bit of a jump scare right there with the birds. That's pretty cool. You can see a good lens flare, all of that. That's one of your pals. As you can see, the lip sync is pretty good. It's not the best I've ever seen, but it's pretty darn good. And you're also going to see how good that is later on, like in-game, not just cutscenes. Because as you can see, this is I'm not sure if this is a cutscene because it's not really moving a lot. Since it's a first-person shooter, it's really difficult to understand whether it's a cutscene or not. It doesn't seem to be a cutscene. Either that or it has like a seamless transition from the cutscenes and the gameplay. But you can see the facial animations were pretty good, and they're just as good later on when you see it in-game. It really looks incredibly beautiful. You can see the beautiful physics there and the dust and just the details overall. Now, physics haven't been good for a long time, but it's just the tiny details. I don't know why, but it seems like it just looks a little better. Beautiful lens flare and beautiful effects. Look at that. You got a guy falling through the window, obviously. And look at the animations, just how seamless everything is. A transition from animation to animation. Again, animations and physics look really good.
Let him have it! More incoming! See him?
We got some enemies coming in here, and it's just going to take them out pretty easily. Now, one thing that I want you to pay attention to pretty soon, now he's going to blow that thing up, I think it's a power generator or whatever. You can see how incredibly much the destruction has improved. And you can see that even better later on in the video. As you might have been able to notice there, you saw a lot more debris and not as much smoke as it was before. Usually before you saw a lot of smoke and just a little bit of debris, and it didn't look all that realistic and dynamic. It definitely looks a lot better here. And as you might be able to notice there, you both have an ACOG sight and iron sight, so that's pretty awesome. That's probably going to be very good in terms of tactics. Hopefully they'll bring that into the multiplayer as well.
You okay, Irish?
Fuck. I guess it's safe. I'm staying so safe.
Tombstone, on the move.
Clear this side of the train tracks.
And as you can see, now they're getting a bit into some nature environments. You can see how beautiful the environment is and how interactive it is. One thing that I want you to pay attention to here is obviously the lighting effects and the detail overall. But when they are moving around, you can see how dynamic the grass is. It seems that the grass is individually rendered. It moves very dynamically to the wind and everything, and you can see when they run through it, it reacts to that. And obviously, as we've already seen, there's some beautiful lens flare, beautiful lighting effects. Don't need to mention that too much. And you're going to see in the building pretty soon. Yeah, look at that building over there. You got a lot of things that are moving very, very detailed, very nice. It seems like they have really paid attention to the way things move and things interact. And as you can see in the water, if you remember the water in Battlefield 3, it really wasn't very interactive at all. If you were swimming in it, it didn't really make waves or splashes or anything. That has definitely improved a whole lot here.
Fuck, look, they seen us.
And one thing you're going to be able to notice there, you got some close-up destruction, and you can just see as the bullet hit that concrete, you can see how dynamic the destruction is. You can see that there are small pieces falling off, not big pieces that you usually saw before, where there's like something that's kind of not really scripted, but kind of like planned out how things are going to be destroyed. Now you can see that it's a lot more dynamic. There are a lot smaller parts falling off because of the bullets. And that definitely helps the realism. It's a lot more detailed in terms of destructions and physics and everything. It's not just, textures and polygons and all of that stuff. And as you can see, we got the vehicle that we know so well from Battlefield 3.
What's your ETA, over?
So obviously you're still going to be able to drive. You're still going to be able to do the typical Battlefield stuff. They obviously aren't going to take that out of it. So just take a look at the grass. I know I already mentioned it, but just take a look at how dynamic the grass is, how it moves because of the wind and all that. And as you can see, it's not like all of the grass moves the same way. You can see that some of the grass moves that way, and some of the other grass moves the other way. And it's definitely a lot more dynamic. It definitely looks a lot more realistic. And just details like that, there are small details, but they definitely make it look just so much more realistic than ever before, and it's just absolutely gorgeous to watch. Now here you're also going to be able to see some very, very dynamic destruction as he uses the noob tube or whatever right there. You can see just there's small debris of the concrete falling all over the place. It's not like you used to see just big pieces flying everywhere and a lot of smoke to cover the destruction. It looks like it's a lot more dynamic and just a lot more realistic, and obviously that's gonna be more difficult for computers, when it comes to physics and all that, since you got more debris falling around. But it definitely makes it look a lot more detailed. Well, you can see a lot of probably bugs or whatever it is around there. Now, one thing that I want to point out in this little part here is that the AI doesn't look like it's very improved. Look at that guy. He should have been able to hear you walking over there. I mean, you're not that quiet. And yes, he might have paid attention to the other guys, but he did hear a shotgun being fired inside of the building. So I really feel like he should have noticed that a lot better. So that's still a little bit disappointing. Maybe they'll improve that in the future. It's obviously still a work in progress. But I just wish that was a little better. He's still using a noob tube, and as you can see, just the bullets, the damage the bullets do, and now we're gonna see that's definitely the most beautiful explosion I have ever seen in a video game. It used to be the explosions in Grand Theft Auto 4 for me because of the smoke and all of that, but that was just absolutely beautiful. I've never seen such beautiful explosion effects ever in any video game. It's just the combination of smoke and fire, and it really just looked absolutely incredible. And that's also something that definitely sells the effect in a war game. You need some good explosions, or else it's not really gonna sell the game that well, or the effects that well. And as you might have been able to notice there, as you can see, you can apparently control your AI companions, or whatever you want to call them, to attack certain enemies. So that's definitely an interesting new feature in the campaign.
Copy that. Engaging.
As I've already mentioned, I can't stop thinking about it, but the grass and just the tiny details, it reminds me a lot of Crysis, just how detailed and beautiful it is. And I really can't wait to get this game. I'm probably not going to pre-order it because I don't have a computer that's powerful enough to run it, and I want it on the next generation of consoles. I don't want to have it on my Xbox 360 because I don't think that's going to do the game justice. But as you can see, we're getting a little further now. This is also an incredibly beautiful and detailed area. As you can see, he's just kind of showing it off a little bit there. And just the animations that the characters are doing, it's obviously not a huge difference from the games we've already seen. You can see the war effects right there, but it's not a huge difference from what we've seen before. But it seems like the transition between different animations and the animations themselves just look a lot better. And as far as, you can see the details when the players, or just the AI characters too, just move around in the environment. You can see the environment is a lot more dynamic, and it reacts a lot better to, people walking in, sand, or, a little bit of rocks and all that. It looks a lot better. It all comes down to those tiny details. Yes, the graphics are visually stunning, but as you can see, that's a huge chopper, and it's going to take some fire. There's going to be a huge, very scripted action scene, which, I mean, I guess we're used to that with first-person shooters these days. And you can just see the incredible destruction right there. Absolutely beautiful. You can see the small debris flying everywhere. It's a little bit scripted, obviously, but it looks absolutely gorgeous. You got some particle effects, sparkles and that stuff. Really beautiful. You can see the glass is definitely being destroyed pretty dynamically right there. And as you can hear, the audio, or well, maybe you can't hear it that well because the audio is turned down in this video, but the sound from the bullets flying is still absolutely beautiful. I'm not sure if it's better than in Battlefield 3, but the audio engine was definitely absolutely gorgeous in that too. And as you can see, they're going to take some heavy fire. There's going to be an incredible action scene. I really love this part. There's going to be a lot of explosions, and it's a little interactive as well. You can see he's moving back there, and it's just so close. It's going to fall down. That's going to fall down, and then he's going to fall further down, and you get to shoot those guys. So you're not just simply watching an action scene. You're kind of doing something at least in the action scene, which definitely helps a lot. I think that makes it a lot better. And as you can see, I can't get over the amount of detail, and the destruction is just improved so much from the last game. You can see the details in that character as well. The chopper is exploding down there, or is at least going to explode. It's being completely destroyed, and he's gonna get that concrete all over him, which is not all that good. But he makes it through that just being helped by his pal right there. So as you can see, if you pause it right there in the face, you can just see how incredibly good the I don't know if you want to call it water effects, but it's definitely sweaty, and there's sort of a water effect in his face. You can see that the reflection is different, and that looks really beautiful. It helps selling the effect of these people going through pretty rough time right now. You can see that they're getting sweaty and all that.
Jesus Christ, his leg looks like pop sausage. You're gonna be fine, Dunn. You're gonna be okay, man. We're gonna get you out. Pack the fuel. Yeah, I know.
Lots of beautiful lens flare, obviously. There's just a civilian that wants to help them out. Not really all that important. I don't understand quite why they put that there. But anyways, yeah, probably because they're probably gonna take that car. If I remember correctly, they're gonna take that car. So that's probably the reason why. As you can see, just the fires, the particles. You can see the particles bouncing there, and they're not disappearing either. So they're definitely still in memory. You just see the beautiful fires and the particles and the reflection in clothes and skin and all that. It looks absolutely gorgeous. He's gonna cut his leg off, which is kind of disgusting. But yeah, you know, it's the military. Bad shit can obviously happen. And as you can see, when the blood comes out of his leg, you can see it just makes a trail on the ground, and it's really beautiful. And I like how they didn't, you know, overdo the blood effect. Like, you just see the blood like splatter out like that. I like that it's just, you know, running out like that. It seems more realistic to me, at least. So I like that. That's definitely good. So yeah, that's as I said, that was the reason why they had that car there. And you're actually going to be able to drive cars just like you did in Medal of Honor Warfighter. You know, these cars are, I'm pretty sure they're just going to be drivable in the campaign and certain parts of the campaign. I don't think they're going to have normal, you know, normal cars like that in the multiplayer. I don't think they did that in Medal of Honor Warfighter. I didn't play that game because I wasn't really very excited about it, but yeah. But it's cool to be able to get some first-person shooter driving. And you can see driving through tunnels, not really all that much happening. And the beautiful water effects there on the window. You can also see the water effects coming, or the water just coming on the road. Very beautiful looking. I think it's in heavy fire. Don't know why he drives off that road, but it's probably just to try to escape the chopper. And as you can see, you just saw it right there. You know, he's shooting at the asphalt, and you can see the asphalt is just hitting the window. Now, look at this. This is epic. Thought Battlefield 3 was epic? Nah, Battlefield 4, motherfucker. This is so freaking awesome. Just slow-mo, and the chopper just hits the ground like that. And you can see all the destruction. I really just can't get over how beautiful it is. And as you can see, that's how they ended up in the water. They're not going to show too much of that. But yeah, you can see it's going to swim through the window. That guy seems like he's going to drown. I think he's pretty fucked. But you can see beautiful water effects underwater too, obviously, as we would expect. So that's about it. You know, this is just my analysis of it. I am super excited about this game. It looks really, really incredible. Not only the visuals, but just how interactive the environment is and how dynamic it looks. It looks incredibly realistic. The faces, they look good, but I wish it could have been a notch better. You can see the building falling down there. But I wish it was just a little bit better. And as you can see, just the destruction and the water effects there. You saw the water effects really good. I'm going to slow that down a little bit. But yeah, definitely some good effects, and you can see the wind and the clothes and everything. It looks absolutely beautiful. But that's it. That's my analysis of Battlefield 4 gameplay. Hope you liked the video, and if you did, then go ahead and hit that thumbs up button down below and share your opinion about the game in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
Have you seen that video?
Oh god, that's not. Oh, look at Norway challenge.
Kitty, sleepy kitty.
Anderson, look at Norway challenge.
Who? Oh, Norway. Fist bump.
Norway challenge.
I like that,
Hey, that's
you know.
just.
What?
You know, fist
Nice.
pumping.
It is good. It's good.
Fist pumping my ass.